Peeking like this is actually bad. It might look like I'm peeking this correctly, but I'm actually making a big mistake. By peeking from this distance away from the angle, I'm not getting to my max speed. If you look at the top left, you can see the VEL or velocity, and the max velocity you can go with the AK out is 215. So if you're intending to swing and peek an angle, if you don't start moving from far enough away, your velocity is not going to get to the max speed, and the person you're peeking is going to have an easier time killing you. So if you see if I peek from here, by the time I'm peeking car, my velocity is not 215. But if I start my peek from further away and I intend to peek car, if I start swinging from here, my velocity will get up to 215 and I will look much faster from the enemy's perspective. I'm sure we've all seen a pro A anchor throw a smoke towards Palace at some point in the round. And you might think throwing a smoke like this is just very simple. Obviously, we are smoking off Palace, so we don't have to worry about it. But pro players are most likely thinking about the smoke in a different way than you are. Yes, this smoke does apply cover for us from Palace, but that's not its only purpose. The way that pro anchors use smokes on the bomb site is to buy time for their rotates. So for example, if my team wants to fight towards mid, when they're planning to do some sort of like mid pop or mid reclear to fight mid and get info, we would want to use our smoke either towards Palace or towards ramp, so that if the T's were trying to set up some sort of A execute or A walk, then hopefully our smoke will deter them from coming out when the mid fight is happening. So when our team fights mid and sees that it's clear, then they have time to rotate over and help us towards the sites because one of the sides will be smoked. And then by the time our smoke's fading and the T's are coming out, hopefully we have more people towards the site and we can fight them together. You'll also just see a lot of A players just throw their smoke at the start of the round. A lot of anchors will just like start here, throw a smoke towards Palace, play towards Underbelk. And this is because most players towards con and window just start con or window, obviously. And if you smoke early in the round, it allows time for your opper or connector player to go for their fights towards mid at the start. And then once they inevitably get smoked off either window or con, since there's nothing else they can really do here unless they're planning to go for some sort of mid fight through the smokes, their next plan is going to be to rotate around to help you. And in all that dead time where they're rotating to come over to you, your smoke will be up, and then by the time they get here, it'll probably be fading, but it's okay because now we have the rotate here and we can win the round if they decide to come A. And real quick, before we get into the last couple tips, I do have to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is an automated trading site that allows you to take some of your old skins and trade them in for some new ones. There are a ton of skins on the site, but if you're looking for something specific, you can use the filter to find the skin that you're looking for. And when you're making your first trade on the site, make sure to use my code GRAPE for a bonus of up to $5 for free. If you see a skin on the site that you want and you don't have one of equal value, you can deposit money with a 30% bonus plus an extra 5% if you use my code GRAPE at checkout. And even if you have nothing to trade, they still do free giveaways every single day, so there's literally nothing to lose by joining SkinsMonkey. So just make sure to use the link in my description and have fun trading. Have you ever seen an A-lurk on Mirage come over here and throw a flash like this at the start of the round? At first it might look silly because now the CTs know that we're towards Palace, but pro players throw this with 3 ideas in mind. So instead of thinking one-dimensionally and only throwing this when we want to fight Palace, pro players will use this flash to push off any opper. We can use it in another very important way. The first obvious way is that if we're throwing this flash, we flash off any opper trying to go for an early Palace fight and just deny their play altogether. And of course we can also just peek with this flash. Since it's popping behind us, we'll be able to peek into Palace and kill anyone holding us. But the third very important way we can use this flash is by just throwing it and not using it at all. Pro players will throw flashes like this to condition the CTs. So if early in a game I throw a flash like this and swing with it and actually lurk towards Palace, then later on all I have to do at the start of the round is just come here, throw my flash, and then just go all the way back around to ramp. Now the CTs might think that we're towards Palace because they heard the flash, and now if we lurk towards ramp, there's a chance that the A anchor just walks into us. Even if they aren't going to push into us, the CTs are going to be more likely to be holding Palace or use utility on it. So if we decide to use a lurk towards ramp, there's a higher chance that we're not going to be smoked off or being held. Did you know that pro players actually throw bad flashes on purpose? Yeah, pro players will actually throw a flash like this that is super easy to turn from, but they throw it with the plan. For example, on Inferno, a very common setup is some sort of double or triple lane setup with the player boosted top porch. And any good team, when they're playing a setup towards brackets, is going to have one player playing anti-flash. Since we can have 1 or 2 people holding mid, there's no point in having the third person also hold mid, because if any good flash comes in, if we're all staring at it, we're all going to get blind at the same time. So pro teams will have one of the players play anti-flash just looking into a wall, so that as soon as they hear the flash pop, they can turn and peek. But pro players have a way to counter this. By throwing an early bad flash like this, and having it pop just a second before the good flash pops, as soon as our bad flash pops, this player who hears the bad flash pop will turn and see if anyone's peeking, and then as soon as they do that, our good flash comes in and fully blinds him. Have you ever seen pro teams take long on Dust 2 and then just start throwing cross smokes without actually going? These teams are actually doing this for a very good reason. Since at a high level on Dust 2, many teams will have HEs towards spawn, so as soon as this cross smoke is up and the Ts can be crossing, we will throw an HE onto the smoke so we can break it and clear the cross. Now if we're on T side and as soon as we take long, we throw one smoke and then just instantly start going and try and cross towards the site, there's a very high chance that as we're crossing, the CTs are going to HE open the smoke and just kill us while we're in the open. They might also throw a smoke like this that blocks us off from even coming up long at all. So if we throw one smoke early, there's a high chance we get this smoke out of the CTs, And then as we throw our second smoke, this smoke will be starting to fade and we can start going, but it wouldn't even be crazy to go on the third smoke. It does sound insane, but a lot of teams will do this, where you throw one smoke early to bait out the CT's block smoke, then you throw a second smoke, then you throw a second smoke to bait out the CT's HEs onto the smoke, and then by the time you throw your third cross smoke, the CTs will have nothing left to break open the smoke or deny you from taking the site, and you'll be able to walk up and take the site without having to worry. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to go over today. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. Check out my Discord or leave a comment in my Twitch chat when I'm live. I do offer coaching. If you're interested in that, there is a link in the description below. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope some of these tips can help you in your games. See ya.